Baking is a blend of art, science, and a little bit of magic. The aroma of freshly baked bread wafting through your kitchen, the golden crust of a perfectly risen cake, or the satisfying snap of a shortbread cookie. These aren't just happy accidents. They're the result of mindful technique, a few clever tricks, and an understanding of how ingredients and processes work together. Whether you're just setting off on your baking journey or seeking to refine your skills, a handful of practical tips can help you bake with confidence and skill, turning each recipe into a masterpiece. Let's start with the foundation of all good baking: accurate measurements. Unlike cooking, where you can adjust flavors on the fly, baking is precision-based. Measuring your ingredients correctly makes all the difference between light, airy results and dense, heavy disasters. Invest in a simple kitchen scale. White sugar, flour, and other dense ingredients can weigh very differently depending on how they're scooped. Measuring by weight removes guesswork and ensures consistent results every time. When it comes to flour, never compact it into the measuring cup. Instead, loosen it with a spoon and gently spoon it into the cup before leveling it off with a straight edge. This seemingly small step helps prevent adding too much flour, which can make cakes tough and cookies dry. The same care applies to other dry ingredients. Sifting isn't just an old-fashioned step. It aerates the flour and removes lumps, leading to lighter pastries and cakes. Let's move on to fats, one of the cornerstones of flavor and texture in baking. Butter, margarine, oil, each imparts its own personality to your bakes. For flakier pastries and tender pie crusts, keep your butter cold. Cut it into the flour before it softens so that as it melts in the oven, it creates pockets of steam, resulting in a beautifully flaky texture. If you've ever wondered why some recipes ask you to chill pastry dough before rolling, it's to maintain this vital coldness. When it comes to cakes and cookies, bring your ingredients to room temperature unless otherwise specified. Room temperature buttercreams faster, trapping air that gives your cakes a delicate crumb. Eggs, when warm, blend more seamlessly, ensuring a uniform batter and better rise. Simply set your eggs and butter out about 30 minutes before you start baking. Leavening agents are the secret behind all that beautiful rising action. Baking powder and baking soda each behave a little differently, and using the correct one is crucial. Baking powder contains both an acid and a base, so it provides lift all by itself. Baking soda needs an acid present in the batter. Think buttermilk or yogurt to activate. Make sure your leaveners are fresh. Old baking powder or soda loses potency, leading to flat, dense bakes. Store them in a cool, dry place and replace them every few months. Mastering how to mix and handle your dough or batter is another game changer. For cakes and quick breads, mix only until ingredients are just combined. Overmixing develops gluten, which makes baked goods tough. If you're making cookies, folding in chocolate chips or nuts by hand ensures you won't overwork the dough. For yeasted breads, kneading is essential to develop gluten structure. Practice a gentle, rhythmic stretching and folding motion until the dough becomes smooth and elastic. If pastry is your passion, don't skip on patience. Pastry doughs benefit from resting in the refrigerator before baking. Resting allows the gluten to relax, making doughs easier to roll and less likely to shrink in the oven. Puff pastry, croissants, or pie crusts all turn out better when given time to chill between steps. Never underestimate the role your oven plays. Every oven is a little different, and temperatures can vary from what the dial says. An inexpensive oven thermometer gives you an accurate reading, and you may be surprised at the discrepancy. Some bakes are sensitive to temperature, so preheat your oven thoroughly and avoid opening the door during baking, which can let out critical heat and cause cakes to collapse. Speaking of heat, learn where the hot spots are in your oven. Uneven baking can easily ruin otherwise perfect efforts. To test this, spread slices of white bread on a baking sheet and toast in the oven. Areas where the bread browns faster reveal your hot spots. Rotate your pans during baking for even results, especially with cookies. For that mouth-watering golden finish on breads and pastries, an egg wash works wonders. Instead of brushing on water or milk, whisk an egg with a tablespoon of water and brush lightly over your dough. The result is a glossy, professional-looking crust that adds appeal to every bake. One pro tip: don't rush the cooling process. It can be incredibly tempting to dig into your baked goods the moment they're out of the oven, but most treats need time to set and develop flavor. Let cakes cool in the pan for 10 to 15 minutes before turning them out, or they might break apart. Allow cookies to cool on their sheets for a few minutes to firm before moving to a wire rack. Flavor is more complex than sugar alone. A pinch of salt in cakes, cookies, and breads doesn't just balance the sweetness, it brings out the flavors of chocolate, vanilla, fruit, and spices. Speaking of spices, fresh makes all the difference. Grating nutmeg just before use or toasting nuts and seeds before adding them to batters releases natural oils and intensifies their natural flavors. If you want to get creative, try adding zests of citrus fruits or a spoonful of strong coffee to chocolate desserts. These subtle additions create depth and sophistication, elevating your baked goods from good to unforgettable. Finally, don't forget the importance of practice and of learning from your mistakes. Even seasoned bakers create the occasional learning opportunity. Every batch is a chance to hone your skills and an invitation to share joy with others. Keep notes on your recipes. Did your cake sink? Did you like the spice level? Adjustments based on experience create a personalized baking repertoire to turn to for every occasion. With these tips and tricks, baking can feel less like a chore and more like a delightful, creative process. Each measure, fold, and bake brings you closer to the confidence and skill of a seasoned baker. So the next time you preheat your oven and gather your mixing bowls, remember these secrets. You're rising to the occasion, one delicious creation at a time, ready to impress loved ones and maybe even surprise yourself. Enjoy the process, savor the results, and never underestimate the simple joy of sharing something homemade.